I know y'all have heard about investing, but we want to talk to you guys about how important it is to
build your real estate portfolio and how you can make these things happen.
But not only do we have residential
to international
to commercial, and we're going to show you some of the things that you could do to get your own real estate investment. We're going to make this thing shake and make some boss moves. So let's go.
Just think, when we started back in 2004, when we bought this house, I never thought we would own the entire block.
Me either. I never imagined that we would do anything like that.
How did that happen? Remember, the county was gonna let us build 9 big houses here on
just this land.
Now we got the whole
thing. So that's why we need to figure out what we want to do.
You know what I get out of this? And to me, this is, if you're looking to buy real estate and people are thinking, hey, I want to get real estate, I don't know what I want to buy, have an open mind, because
yes.
I'm not gonna act like I had an open mind, because I remember when we pulled up.
You didn't want to get out the car.
You're right.
And I was like, okay, watch it, I'm going in. When I walked into this house, I was like, this house is actually really nice.
He was like, you gotta come see it. Come see it. And when I walked in, I could not believe it.
Yep.
So have an open mind on being able to come in and rehab it and update it. And you know, sometimes you could deal with fixing things up, but look at what you get for privacy, your land, and the peace that we had is unmatched. You know what else played the part? Great relationships with realtors. They're gonna call you first before it hit the market, before it's listed. You're gonna get access to it before it's gonna say coming soon, but you'll be able to get in it and put your bid on it first. The property is worth so much right now. If I never would have took that call, I had that relationship, this would have never even happened for us.
Yes, I agree.
So relationships are key.
You know, it's funny you say that, because the same thing happened with Frost. Like, we had been looking around for like the best commercial, you know, that we thought would be the best for us. And looking, and it just came to relationships. And finally, Mr. Henry, who liked old Kirk Frost.
Yeah, that was funny, because I remember he was like, I was like, well, I want to buy the property, it's for sale. We always looked at the building, and he was like, well, I want to meet the person who's buying it. And I was like, well, I don't want to meet nobody. I just want to buy the property. I was like, if I'm going to sell you my property, I want to meet you. So when I met the man, he was really nice. He was really cool. But he's like, what are you going to do with the property? And I told him I wanted to open a lounge. You know, I wanted to get something that I felt I can generate money and residual income. And his property sat perfect and sat in the city of Atlanta, in the heart of Atlanta, and was able to obtain the things we want.
And also in one of the biggest areas of Black-owned land in Atlanta.
He knew family members of mine from New York, and we got to talking and realized we knew each other, and he signed the contract that night. It wasn't about the number to him, it was about who are you, what you gonna do with it, and do you care about it? And he comes by now, he just still says, I can't believe what you done with it.
And you're right, sometimes it's about relationship, but a lot of times it's also about money. First of all, it's gonna start with your credit, because a lot of times, you know, you might not have $1 million or $500,000 or $100,000 in your pocket that you have available to spend. So credit is super important. That's why I always tell people, like, credit is something that you should not play with. It's something that you should hold close, make sure that you're building it the right way, so that you can walk in somewhere and say, hey, I might have $20,000, but I got an 800 credit score. So let's make this shake.
They always say, would you rather have 100,000 cash or $1 million in credit? Give me the million in credit.
Give me the million in credit, baby.
And speaking of that, Virgil, who's coming, always tell us, don't spend your money, spend other people's money. He
always tells us not to spend our money.
Right, it's always good to spend other people's money. You know why? Keep your money for emergencies, but use other people's money and pay low interest rates on it with good credit. And speaking of money, look, here comes the money man now.
You know the money man.
The money man.
He riding in money.
Founder and president of Power Purchase Mortgage, Virgil Gordon is a financial advisor who helped us and many others secure investment property. He's here to share tips on how you can start investing in real estate and the importance of owning property in your portfolio.
My two most favorite people in the world.
Hey, man, look at that,
Our
man.
most
Rasheeda.
favorite person.
Rasheeda, good to see
You
again.
as well.
How
Thank
are
you.
man?
Thanks
How
for
you doing,
coming
my
out.
man?
Oh, good. I love the truck, man.
Thank
It
you
looks
so
good.
much for inviting me in your beautiful home
Oh.
to see this wonderful estate.
This is
Now
our
you-
first baby. We
Yeah.
had
We got
children
great
here.
memories.
Really what we were trying to get to is like, what direction would probably be the best way to go when it comes to how many acres we got? 20, 19?
19.5 or somewhere
Yeah,
right
19
around
and a
there.
half
So
acres. And basically like the whole street
We
is
got the
just
whole
a
street.
bunch of subdivisions. It's like a big responsibility, I think, if, breaking it down and building and stuff. Like, I'm a little nervous on that part.
And rightfully so, but one thing that I would say about what the two of you have done is this is really an investment portfolio that's taken you decades
Yeah.
to build.
Yeah.
And that's really the best position to be in. It's nothing that you came into right away and said, hey, in 20 years, this is going to be worth, millions of dollars.
Right,
and we
right.
are going to potentially build hundreds of homes.
Okay, knowing us
Yeah.
and knowing kind of like, our portfolio, knowing our businesses and what we do, what would you advise to think would be the better thing to do?
Well, knowing you and knowing how much you like the Bahamas now,
How can you be mad at this?
I probably would say the best thing for you to do is to partner with a developer. That's their passion. That's what they like to do. I mean, the
Yeah.
two of you have your passions, but development it's in and of itself. Not
Yeah.
saying that you couldn't do it,
Right.
but would you want to
Do
do
we
it?
want to?
The good thing is when you hear the numbers, like, hey, you can put 120 houses and you can potentially take home 200 and something grand per house.
Yeah.
Of course, your mind start wanting to say, hey, that's
That's
life-changing
$24
money.
million, buddy.
So you begin to think, well, wait, it ain't really about what I want to do, but this
What I
is
need to
really,
do.
Right. And the one thing that the two of you have done is you've allowed time to be your friend as far as an investment is concerned. And that's one thing about investments that makes sense. You have to allow the time
to get to it.
And
to
that's
get
what
through it.
we even
Yeah.
try to talk to like the kids about and stuff like that. Like, everybody now is on the quick flip,
Now, one right now, yeah.
quick jug this. And it's like, no, it's like even when it comes to investments, people don't understand the importance of the fact that if you have the patience and you can hold on
Yeah.
to something, it could be, you don't know what the market will do.
Be educated.
Okay.
And then your emotions will lead you in the direction that, makes the best sense. Look at the fine print. One thing that I admire about you, Rasheeda, is every time I put some numbers in front of you, I don't have to worry about Kurt. I have to worry about you because you're going to go through there with a fine-tooth comb.
Right.
Oh,
You're going to tell me, Virgil, can we negotiate on this number?
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do when you're making an investment. I
Yeah.
mean, everything's negotiable. And that's the blessing of having a great team. Two savvy investors who know what they want and develop a strategy on how to get there.
Yeah.
That's what that's about.
I love those tips. That's good information. Say somebody wants to get into investing, like how, what's a good way? How much money do you think they need to have? I mean, just like the typical person who wants to invest in something.
That's a great question, Rasheeda. In banking and finance, what we call it is a contingency reserve.
Got you.
We do require that most clients have a 6 to 12 month contingency reserve. In case life happens.
Right.
Spouse is sick or they lose a job or something happens.
yeah.
They've got that kind of savings in place to be able to meet their mortgage payment.
And with that being said, so how do closing costs factor into that? Because this one I call you.
That's when you call me.
Why are we coming to, why is it the number jump like this?
Right.
The closing cost numbers can vary depending on your deal.
True.
And it's important to make sure that you look at those. But what I tell most people, as a rule of thumb, if you're looking at just a traditional home, primary home, or an investment property, 3 to 5% of the purchase price is what you should anticipate for closing costs.
Oh, okay.
Closing costs are going to include things like your title attorney, the person that you show up to that's going to make sure that the property that you're buying is deeded to you and it goes to you, and taxes and insurance have to be paid up
Yes,
front.
they do.
if you don't pay your taxes,
Oh,
you
honey,
don't
it's
own
over with.
anything.
You don't own jack.
Yeah, the
Believe me.
state of Georgia or whatever state you reside in is going to come take that
Take it.
property.
And nowadays, people quickly,
People-
the minute you ain't paid them taxes,
Somebody
they
pay it
coming
for
and
you.
paying it for you,
And they own
and
your
now they
property.
own your property.
Yeah,
and
or they
that's a-
want to they pay it for you, and then you got to pay them back money, the interest.
the interest, you know,
'cause
and
they
the
paid it
fee,
for you.
and
Yeah.
this,
Yep.
and then they
Yeah.
just that's a business we should
Yeah.
think about getting
Well,
into.
I've got clients in that business, and they do well.
So when do you know, like, if you have an investment property and it's like not making no money, or you get into a position where you're paying that and you really can't afford to pay it no more? What do you think? What would you suggest would be the best thing to do?
When it doesn't make any sense anymore is when you don't feel it anymore.
Okay.
The emotion isn't there anymore. You know, for whatever reason, you don't like driving out to the property anymore. It's too far, or you're having too many problems with the tenants. Taxes increase, insurance increases. Anything, any number of things that kind of in the back of your mind make you say, I don't want this anymore. That's probably the time for you to sell that property or find a way for you to dispose of that property that at least allows you to get back your return.
Exactly. I know that's right.
It's about experience.
Yeah.
Right.
The more you invest in anything, the more savvy, the more experience
Yeah.
that you get. The better that the more repetition that you do something, you're just naturally gonna get better at it.
Right.
And it's the same with an investment. It's the same with anything in our lives.
Yeah.
And that's what it is with investment. And that's what the two of you have shown, that it's not all been wins and wins and wins.
No, it's been some losses.
It's been some L's.
But
you're
it
still
helped
here,
us,
and
yeah.
it helped you.
It helped us
It
learn.
helped you because now you can take this down and you can pass it to your family, you can pass it to your son and your children, so that they know what to look for as well. Not saying that they won't have
Right.
an experience of their own,
Right.
Right.
but they know what to look through
for,
because
yeah.
mother and father have been through it.
Exactly.
Got it.
You
Yes.
see? Well, Kirk and Rasheeda, I am so proud of the both of you as just a phenomenal husband and wife team,
Thank you.
as
I appreciate
investors that work together. And I can tell, you know, what the two of you have is not only have you built a multi-million-dollar portfolio, but you've done it together. What I admire about you both is that not only will you move forward on a deal, but I've seen you guys walk away from deals
Yeah.
Yeah.
that didn't make sense.
That's
Right.
right.
Walk away from it. You weren't so emotionally tied to the deal
You're right.
that you stayed in it. You said, nah, this ain't gonna work for us. We're gonna back out.
Yep.
And that's what being an astute and savvy investor is about. That's what building generational wealth is about.
Right.
I agree to that
Appreciate it.
100%.
We trying to get it right.
We trying, and we thank you for just, being there, man. There's conversations we had where you be like, I don't know, y'all.
Right.
You know?
Well, I'm thankful for the trust that both of you have put in me, that you value my opinion,
Oh,
that you will
definitely.
give me honest and thoughtful critique.
Yes.
You know, especially you, Rasheeda. Virgil, you need to get rid of that number right there. I don't like that. You need to reduce that, Virgil. I don't like that either. But I receive it, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to have a voice with you both.
Well, thank
And
you.
I'm so grateful. and so
Always
thank you
appreciate
so
it. And
much.
I'm gonna be real happy with you when we get this JV. Look,
Yeah.
and make this thing
I'm
shake.
looking forward to it
I
too.
am too.
Yes.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank
For
you.
Sure. Well, thank you for joining us, guys. And honestly, I hope you've learned a lot about real estate. I've learned some new things as well. And hopefully it's something that you can take with you so that you can become a real estate boss. Head over to Philo and watch the extended version of this episode. Until next time, see y'all later.